If you're owner of a trucking company and have the lease to purchase program in your offer, this video is crucial for you right now. As you can see, FMCSA give a note that they will check all the agreements for lease to purchase program and make sure that everybody is on the same page, driver and companies. Let's break down what lease to purchase is, what's the pros, what's cons, and what trucking company and truck driver needs to know about this program. So stay tuned. My name is Samir Brzovic. I'm owner and founder of Elysiumenterprise. What we do, we are specialized in marketing, recruiting, and retention in trucking companies. We spend millions of dollars generating leads, referring, and hiring drivers for trucking companies. I was driving a truck for 4 years, so I'm speaking this as one-time owner-operator and also a company owner and the guy who is in trucking for 10 years. So let's dive into it. What's pros and cons of lease to purchase? And then, of course, I want to know your opinion. So let's jump into it. First of all, I'm pro lease to purchase program. I'm not pro bad companies that do lease to purchase program, but for sure, let me tell you my personal stories and how I get my first truck. In 2016, there was no chance for you to get any type of financing, especially if you're new in the country, you don't have a credit score, and trucking industry, as all of you know, are not the safest industry to invest. So banks are trying to avoid investing in trucking industry. If they do, they have a high interest rate. So in that case, you will not be able to get enough funds, or you will need to have a hard down payment, all of the above. So high interest, high down payment, and they will not allow you to buy a brand new truck because, as you know, brand new trucks goes from $160,000, $70,000, $80,000, and that is a lot for the bank, especially if you don't have previous credit history. So how I bought my first truck, I had some small down payment. I asked my company, the owners of a company, to lend me like $15,000. My whole truck, I will share the picture here, was 2006 Volvo. So back in the days, 10-year-old truck I purchased for $16,800 from some Romanian guy that I drove for, I think, 2 or 3 years. The whole point here is that I wasn't able to buy any new equipment. My goal is just like to buy something that I can afford. Of course, I think that interest rate was also 10 to 15% back in the days on that, even on that small amount of money. I was trying to fix the truck, pay it off, and I bought it in March of 2016 and I paid off in December for the new year of the same year. So I had my own truck. I was my own boss. I didn't have payments, so of course I had a maintenance for it, but back in the days they made better quality trucks, so I could survive sometimes. So I didn't have options to buy a new truck, new equipment that I don't need to fix. I can go in dealership to fix, but there is also cons for it because you cannot rest, you cannot go home, you need to 3 to 5 years be stuck in the same truck, or even worse, in the same company and something goes downhill. So let's dive into it, what's pros, what's cons, and then you can tell me which route would you choose. So first of all, let's come here to the pros. First of all, you have a fast approval, there is no banks intertwined. What I think, what's my opinion, owner of a trucking company thinks, okay, we had a good year, I don't want to pay taxes, let's just buy some trucks. After they get the truck, they are thinking, should I get the company driver or lease to purchase? They want to keep the driver the longer time in their company, so they are deciding lease to purchase. And also, what's one plus, they are thinking, okay, if this guy in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years may own this truck, they will take care of the truck more and better than a company driver. He's there cents per mile, he don't care. You cannot tell him where to put the fuel, you cannot put some expenses on him, but if you're leasing the truck, you are making sure that that guy stays in the company for the longer time, and as well to keep that truck running and well-being, because one day it will be his. That's the thought of the owners of a trucking company. First of all, you have a fast approval here, no banks, and also some trucking companies are saying like 5% interest rate, 3%, 10%, so you don't need to negotiate with the banks, you negotiate with the trucking company. Sometimes even one company that I know giving 0 APR, so means no down payment, just drive, pay it off, and it's all good because we already paid off to write off our taxes. Second thing is no credit. So most of the trucking companies don't ask for credit check because truck drivers most of the time, because of the whole maintenance and everything else, they don't have opportunity to build their credit score. Something bad happens, they go deep and they cannot cannot fix it for a long time. So no credit is also a good thing. If you're a truck driver, so nobody's checking your previous score, they're basically giving you $250,000 thing on hand and praying that everything will be good. Today you cannot rent an apartment without credit score. You cannot go to Best Buy and get a credit card for like $1,000 without credit score. But in trucking industry, I don't know why, but probably there is a way to figure it out. They are giving truck and trailer, something that's $200,000 and really expensive equipment to the guys that they barely know. So if you're that type of guy, that's not a bad thing. No down payment is also one thing. So while I'm reading this, it sounds like a scam. I don't know how to explain, like no down payment, no credit, fast approval. Sounds like a trap. For some drivers it is, for some drivers it isn't. I will explain you why. Because you need to have special type of mentality for this to work for you. So no down payment. Most of the companies are asking from 0 to 10, 15K down payment. That's still less than a 10% down payment for some of the equipment. If you are giving down payment, you can also always negotiate. Good thing about it is if you're approved by a company, you can probably choose your truck in a day and just drive away with it. Still, when you go to the bank, the whole process takes weeks, if not months, for them to pre-approve you to do this and that, and they need to check the truck and validate the truck and see what's the market price, and then left and right. Here you can go out with the truck literally in 48 hours. Also, good thing is that 99% of the time that is a new equipment. When you want to buy the truck, I don't know if you guys are knowing, owner of the company of course know, if you want to go through the bank, the banks are usually not giving the loans for the trucks that's older than 5 years. Why? Because it's a big liability. So if you want to buy something that's more approachable and more affordable for the driver, you need to buy some 6-7-year-old trucks. The banks will not allow you to get it, or they will ask like 40-50% down payment, and then it doesn't make sense for you to buy it. Or on the other hand, you have a trucking companies that have new equipment, but it's easier way to approach, but you have some pros and cons to it. So new equipment is most of the time there into this type of lease to purchase program. Of course, when you're leasing the car, they're usually leasing brand new cars, but that also can go with flaws that we will talk in cons parts. So as well, we have warranty. Of course, new trucks have warranty. So if you are driving a truck, you need to make sure that it doesn't break down. If you have a warranty with a new truck, that's also a good thing, but also it can be a bad thing. If your truck is stuck in a Peterbilt or freightliner shop for 3-4 weeks, you need to make payments and you cannot drive because they are missing the part that's out of the stock. So warranty can be good and a bad thing. I'm suggesting for everybody, if some part can be fixed for like $500 and they're out of the stock, just fix it and go your way. And walk away lease. If you're owing money to a bank, you will go through collection, they will call you, it will be the whole process, it will destroy your credit score. If you return your house, your car, you don't pay your credit card, whatever is the case. Only in trucking industry that I know of, you can use creative financing and as well walk away from the truck. Hopefully you will bring it back to the company, but sometimes unfortunately drivers are bringing it also to their home and leaving it there so they avoid some other consequences. So trucking is the only industry that basically can do this. All of this is pros, by my opinion, for truck drivers. I didn't have this type of opportunity. I was driving truck for 4 years. So if I had opportunity to sit in a brand new truck, of course, before that, Google and find the right company for me and what fits my needs, then I'll for sure be less stressful on the road, if that's possible. So let's go to the cons. Cons that you can't change the company. You can't change the company while the lease to purchase program lasts. Of course, company want to protect themselves by you not leaving and making them some money out of the truck. And as well, they don't want you drive it somewhere else, you make a mistake and then they don't get paid. So you can't change company. That's a bad thing. Second thing is no rest. So 3 to 5 years, if you want to go to this type of lease, there is no rest. You know that you need to drive literally every week. There is no more than 2 weeks home. You need to basically drive for those 3 years straight out for you to pay off that truck. After that, that truck will probably be worth 50, 60, 70K. That will be your asset, and then you can buy it or maybe use it as a down payment or give it to your driver and you get the lease program again and again. But in this type of scenario, you know that you need to work. The most mistakes, why why the truck drivers are leaving the trucks is because they go to vacation 2 weeks, everything is cool. They go to vacation for 2 weeks and then they cannot keep up with the payments after their vacation. They spend some money and then on the other side they are losing some money. They cannot keep up with the payments, and then the easiest way is just like to walk away. I know that's bad for companies. All the truck company owners knows that this is the case, so just be aware of that. Expenses management as well that we have here. Expenses management is the key part, because when you're a company driver, you don't care, your tire is broke, something is bad, you call your team and say, I'm broke down, that's it, you lay down. But when you're lease to purchase, you are trying to figure out if you have some type of maintenance to get cheaper. You are learning how to navigate the loads, how to book loads, what's a good load. You need to be aware of the market, you need to be aware of the fuel, you need to be aware of so many things that will basically involve you as a driver in trucking world. So if you manage to pay off your truck in a lease to purchase program, you are ready to be an owner operator, and in the future hopefully carrier owner as well. And of course, if you don't go with a company that you don't align with, after 1 or 2 years, if you give a bigger down payment, you lose your down payment. That's also cons for truck drivers. So you lose down payment, but honestly 5-10K for somebody is huge amount of money, but for the most majority of the people, you just like can't blame the companies to protect themselves with that amount of money, like $10,000-$15,000 for $200,000 equipment. So honestly, this is pros and cons by my opinion. Now you can tell me, should you lease or buy? I would like to know the answer. What do you think? What's the better option? If you think lease, why? If you think that everybody should buy their own truck with the bank and then just like switching company, give themselves more opportunity, more possibilities, more flexibilities, then comment buy. If you think that lease is the right options, then comment lease. Of course, subscribe to the channel because a lot of this type of content will be there. And of course, see you in the next video. Bye bye.